Thank you, Madam Chair, and Mr. Washington, thank you for being here. I want to just hit, I know we've been talking about safety and your background. Obviously, given all the challenges and the focus that everybody in the country wants in terms of safety, I, like so many others, have a deep respect for your service in the Army. Command Sergeant Major is really remarkable in terms of achievement. But I want you to take the opportunity to address what Senator Budd mentioned was, but your resume doesn't reflect a deep well of experience on aviation safety. And I think it's a fair criticism. He said, hey, you can't have on-the-job training on something so important. So why don't you take a minute to just address that? I think it's an important issue for the whole country. Then I want to talk about Alaska.
Thank you, Senator. I think safety is more than just one individual. It takes an organization. Can we build a safety culture within an organization? I have done that in every organization I've been in. I will do that at FAA. Safety has been my #1 priority in the United States Army and every transportation organization I've been in. So I think the question, at least in my mind, is can I build that culture and rebuild that culture within FAA based on everything that I've done, based on how I have led men and women in this country? And I think the answer is yes.
Okay. You ever been to Alaska?
Yes, sir.
During the Army?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you get a sense of, well, let me ask you, if you're confirmed, I'd like to get your commitment to come to Alaska very early in your tenure to see the unique challenges that we have in my state. Can I get you to commit to me on that?
Absolutely.
Good. Let me the dynamics there in terms of aviation. We have 586,000 square miles of land mass. Sorry, Senator Cruz. But almost two.
Point of personal privilege.
Sorry. But over 2.4 million square miles of airspace. That is the Alaska area that the FAA covers. As you know, the FAA, and I'm going to focus on domestic issues, but the FAA in Alaska is the entity that takes every flight in America that's flying to Asia, and it makes sure they get there safely. So our FAA guys and women, they do amazing work. They're the best. And everybody in America who's flown from America to Asia has had the FAA of Alaska in their guiding hands. It's really important. I just want to do a shout out to them. We're also a state with less road miles than Connecticut, and we're 120 times bigger.
Wow.
Over 250 communities in my state are not connected by roads. That's a whole nother issue. So they're connected by air or boat if they're on a river. So let me just go into a couple issues that relate to that. Because we fly so much, in 2020, the NTSB produced a report that in the most recent 10-year period, there was an accident rate for aviation in Alaska 2.35 times higher than in the rest of the country. So this is the challenge of air, weather, mountains, remote communities, but it's also very much a challenge of a lack of aviation infrastructure. I worked with the last FAA administrator to launch the FAA Alaska Aviation Safety Initiative, FASI. Can you commit to me, if you're confirmed, to continue the progress we've made, but we have a long way to go on the issue of FASI and Alaska safety, which, as I mentioned, we have the worst rates of accidents in the country by far.
Yes, Senator, enthusiastically look forward to working with you on that.
Let me ask one final question, Madam Chair, if I may. Weather reporting, forecasts, air-to-ground comms are needed to support these remote communities for better and safer access. The FAA, until I passed a law in this committee essentially mandating them to do it, had not funded new automated weather observing system locations in Alaska that most airports in the lower 48 get since the 1990s. Again, we're this afterthought. Can I get your commitment, if you're confirmed to work with me on significantly updating the basic aviation and weather infrastructure that most states in the lower 48 take for granted and we have to beg for, to get those so my constituents can fly safely the way everybody else does in this country?
I commit to that, Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.